Good morning, Boston Sports Nation. Good morning, Bruin fans. Good morning, Celtics fans. How we doing, guys? Good morning. It is currently just shy of 7 o'clock a.m. here on the East Coast, and headed into Boston again. What's going on, yo? It's been a few days since we got on here and did a recap, so let's catch up. The Bruins take an L, 3-2, and they fall to and they trail. Excuse me, they trail 3-1 now in the series. Florida looking to dispatch them and end their playoff bid on Tuesday night. And to be honest, I don't have a lot of faith in them being able to do much about it. I don't have a lot of faith in the Bruins being able to do much about what the Panthers plan on doing on Tuesday night. Clearly, the Bruins are overmatched. They have bit off more than they can chew, and they're just in over their head. They're overmatched, and they've been outplayed for most of this series. Outplayed and outcoached for a good portion of the series. So it's not looking good for them. Last game was pretty much a microcosm of the series as a whole and the season. This Bruins team just doesn't, they just don't have enough. There's not much more to it. They don't have enough. Florida clearly the better team, better talent wise, better coached, and just overall want it more. They play harder than the Bruins every night. Plain and simple. There's no way to sugarcoat it or anything like that. Florida just wants it more. They've played harder every night, most of this whole series than the Bruins. And I don't understand what the plan is for Montgomery at all. I truly don't get it. He's trying to go, hit for hit and toe to toe with a Panthers team that is much bigger and much more physical than them, and that's a losing recipe. The Bruins are not built to play a style like that. They're simply not built to do it, and it's shown. They can stick with a team like Toronto, a team like Carolina, a team like the Lightning, just these big teams for maybe a period and a half, and they run out of fuel. They run out of gas to consistently do it on a game to game basis, and they chase the puck and they end up putting themselves in bad situations, and ultimately they lose the game. And Montgomery's not done a good job of counteracting what Montgomery just hasn't done a good job of counteracting what Florida's doing to them. They've even the Leafs figured it out. I think a little bit too late, and they deviated too much from the pattern. But even the Leafs figured out if you hit the Bruins, they don't have enough size to hit back. They don't have enough size to hit back, and it's just they're they're they fold. If you hit them, they will cave. They will cave. Plain and simple. If you play a physical game with Boston and just consistently forecheck the hell out of them, they give up. They give up. They can't withstand the beating, and they throw in the towel, and they run out of gas. And I put a lot of it on Montgomery. Some of these players too have been wildly inconsistent. The defense has been awful this series. McAvoy and Lindholm have been absolutely awful. The defense needs a lot of help. The defense needs a lot of help. McAvoy has had a bad playoffs overall. The defense as a whole has had a bad playoff run overall. They need a lot of help. The D needs a lot of help, and the inconsistent scoring and just it, I, I I attribute the lack of shots on net to them basically trying to fend for their lives as they get forechecked to hell. So they spend all of their time trying to hit back instead of throwing pucks on net, which Montgomery's got to realize that and coach them. But he's just been out coached in every aspect of the game this entire series, and it's not even close. There's gonna have to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations at the end of this year. There's going to have to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations at the end of this year if the Bruins get ousted and they lose this series and their playoff run is done. There's going to have to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations about some of these people in management positions that have been here forever. If they lose this series, Montgomery's got to go. He's got to go. Sweeney's got to go. And I personally think we need to take a good hard look at Cam Neely and reassess what he's done. What has he done for this team in the last 5 years? What has he done for them? Upper management has not been good. Upper management has not been good. They got rid of Bruce Cassidy, a hard-nosed coach, and they brought in a players coach because the players are soft. And they didn't like being coached hard. Well, newsflash, this is what you get with a player's coach. A guy that doesn't really push them and prod them and hold them accountable and really hold their feet to the fire and push them to be better. This is what you get. You get what you pay for. There's nothing more to say. You get what you pay for. Montgomery's a player's coach. Cassidy was very, very clearly the more knowledgeable coach. Went to Vegas and won a fucking Stanley Cup. What more can you say? The guy left this team, went over to Vegas and won the Stanley Cup with Vegas. And you let that guy walk because your players wanted you to, because they were complaining that he was coaching them too hard. Motherfucker, this is hockey. This ain't cheerleading. This ain't soccer. This is hockey. If you don't like a coach holding you to the fire, you need to get the fuck out of here and get out of this town as well. You don't like being held accountable? Maybe Boston's not the place for you. The bar for us and our sports teams is set high. You don't perform, get the fuck out of here. We don't need you. This is our standard. Excuse me, guys. We have a very high standard that we hold our sports organizations to. You don't want to live within those standards? You can leave. It's no sweat off. Boston sports fans, we'll let you go. It's very, very simple. Did they just this team is soft. They're too small. The Toronto matchup was bad. If Toronto was better coached and better managed, they would have beat this team. They would have beat the Bruins. Florida's much better coached, and you're seeing what happens. This team does not match up well against these big physical teams. They never have for the last at least three seasons. Never. They've never matched up well. The Bruins are in trouble. Bruins are in trouble. They are backed into a corner. They are backed into a corner, and these last couple of games when their backs are against the wall, they have not responded well. They have not responded well, and I don't have a lot of faith in them being able to come out and play with reckless abandonment and like they got nothing to lose, because they don't. But if they don't play like that, they're going to lose. The Bruins have to play like their lives depend on it. Their playoff lives depend on it, because it does. The officiating wasn't good. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't good, but the Bees also didn't play well at all. The Bruins have yet to match the Panthers' intensity for 3 games now. They've yet to match the intensity for 3 games. Florida's figured out play physical. Bruins aren't big enough and aren't mentally tough enough to respond. The Panthers have figured it out. Toronto figured it out too. Toronto figured it out too. This team has got to get some grit to it. I mean, I get it. I get it, edited. No, it's understandable. But to me, the lopsided amount of shots is because the Bruins are chasing all over the ice, and they're they're chasing all over the ice, and they're trying to avoid contact because they know they're too small. Florida has just forechecked them into hell. All these games that these games, Florida has just forechecked them into hell, and the bees are just haven't been able to respond because they're too small. They, they are getting beat up and pushed around the ice all game. They're just too small, man. They spend the entire game trying to match Florida's intensity, and by the end of the second period, they're fucking gassed. They're just gassed. They got nothing left. They if they don't match Florida's intensity, it'll be 4-1 every game. Every game it would be 4-1, because Florida would just forecheck them and hit them into oblivion. So instead of throwing pucks on net, crashing the net, and trying to stay on the offensive, they're basically running for their fucking life. They're basically running for their life. The whole defensive core has been awful. All of them. McAvoy, Lindholm, Carlo. They've been awful. This whole playoff run, the D core has been terrible. Giving the puck away, stupid passes through the neutral zone, putting Swayman and Allmark in bad spots. The decor has been bad this entire playoff run. They left both goalies hanging out to dry in the Toronto series a lot. They're lucky they got the breaks they did in that Maple Leaf series, because they hung those goalies out to dry a lot. The decor as a whole, this entire playoff run has not been good. I don't know, but if they need to get bigger on the if they're gonna if they're gonna beat, if they're gonna successfully play at the same level and beat these teams like Toronto, like the Hurricanes, like the Leafs, excuse me, like the Lightning, these the Capitals in some aspect, New Jersey. If they're gonna if they're gonna stand toe to toe with these big bruiser teams, then the decor has got to get bigger. Carlo's got to go. Lindholm's got to go. And if McAvoy wants to stay, he's got to learn how to hit. He's got to learn how to hit and how to take a hit. Oh, it definitely is, dude. These two goalies, Swayman and Olmark, have stood on their head to keep them in this. If it wasn't for them, we'd be fucked. We'd be out of the playoffs already. If it wasn't for the goaltending of Swayman and Olmark, we would be gone. We wouldn't be playing. It's that simple. And honestly, if they lose Tuesday night, I mean, if they lose, excuse me, if they lose, um, if they lose this series, then Montgomery's got to go. Montgomery's got to go. Sweeney's got to go. And also, I said this on my last live stream. When are we going to have the uncomfortable conversation about about Cam Neely? Excuse me, about Cam Neely. When are we going to have that uncomfortable conversation about Cam Neely and him being a very shitty executive and team builder? What has he done in the last 5 years? Nothing. This team has got no better. He's wasted Bergeron and he's wasting Marchand and Pasternak as well. What has he done? What has Neely and Sweeney done in the last 5 seasons? Nothing. Montgomery, Sweeney, and Neely need to be strapped to a rocket and shot into the sun. I'm sorry. That's gonna rub a lot of Bruins fans the wrong way. Cam is a shitty executive and a team builder. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Cam Neely is a shitty executive and team builder. Oh no, Monty's not the main issue, but he's fucking part of the problem. Montgomery is definitely not the main issue, but he's part of it. He's part of it. This upper management group has done nothing, next to nothing for this team. Next to nothing. When are we going to start holding Cam Neely, Don Sweeney accountable? Huh? When are we going to do that, Bruins fans? When are we going to hold Sweeney and Neely accountable for the team that they built? Huh? When are we going to start putting pressure on the Jacobs family to do something about those two fucking clowns? When are we going to start putting pressure on upper management to do something? Huh? We just going to sit here and ride the coattails of 2011? Over a decade ago? When are we going to start holding these clowns accountable? When, Bruins fans? When do you want to start having these uncomfortable conversations? After we lose again and after we get booted? After we get booted from the playoffs again? When do you want to have these conversations? Because guess what? They need to happen. He built a team of soft players, man. These players are soft. The players are the ones that got Bruce Cassidy kicked out. You know that, right, Edited? The players complained to upper management that Cassidy was coaching them too hard. And they didn't like Cassidy's hard-nosed coaching style. So when are we going to talk about the players being a bunch of pussies? When are we going to talk about that? When are we going to talk about that? Huh? Sweeney and Neely put together a team of a bunch of pussies that don't like to hit. This is hockey, and this is Boston. Original six. When the fuck are we going to start having these conversations with people? It's all of them. Sweeney, Neely, and Monty. It's all three of them. And you can add the Jacobs family in as owners because they're fucking completely fine with the team that's built, obviously, if they're not doing anything about it. It's every aspect of upper management. And you can add the players into it too. They're a bunch of pussies. Pasternak, whenever he gets hit, fucking turtles. That dude does not like contact at all. This is hockey, Pasta, and you're getting paid pretty damn good. So either learn how to take a hit or get the fuck out of here. Either learn how to take a hit or get the fuck out of here. Take your pick. Same thing with the defensive core too. You want to stay? Learn how to hit. Show up. Show some grit. Oh no, I'm not saying he didn't, but he was. In my opinion, Cassidy is a better coach than Montgomery. This team has been a massive underachiever for years, and you have to shake something up. Something's got to give. They have underachieved now for like 4 seasons. Way underachieved. You win the President's Cup and get bounced in the first round? You fucking serious? Underachievers. Underachievers. The players are soft, man. Players are soft. We're never gonna win a Stanley Cup unless they learn how to grow a set of balls and show up in big moments. This team in big moments when the lights are brightest absolutely shits their pants and pisses down their leg. This team has to learn how to play in the spotlight. One thing the 2011 team did good is they didn't let the bright lights get the best of them. They were laser focused on one thing, winning the Stanley Cup, and they didn't let anything get in their way. They ignored the noise and blocked it out and played in the moment. This team doesn't know how to do that. They don't know how to rise to the occasion. They don't know how to play in big spots. They get scared. This team has no grit. The Bruins have no grit. They have no grit. That's what set the 2011 team apart. They were gritty. They were hard nosed. They were workers. They they all made sacrifices to win that cup. All of them. It was one team playing for one goal. That's 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 what it took to win that cup, and they had to work and grind every day to get it. But see, we don't have any size. That's the problem. We don't have any size. We have no size at all. This team has no heart, no grit. They have no grit, and they they don't know how to play in the spotlight. They don't know how to play in the spotlight. That's what kills them. When the lights get brightest, this team turtles and absolutely craps their pants. They puke on themselves. The Bruins need to learn how to play in big moments and rise to the occasion. And until they learn how to do that, they're never going to win a Stanley Cup. They're never going to do it. Until they learn how to play in the spotlight and how to play in big moments and how to ignore the noise around them and focus on what's important, we're never going to win. It's that simple. It's that simple. This team is soft. The team is soft. They're soft and they don't know how to play in high pressure situations. I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would or wouldn't. I don't know if it would or wouldn't. I think it still would. But the Bruins just they are on their last leg, guys. They are on their last, like, next game. Next game for the Bruins could be their last of the season if they don't get it together and show some heart. Show some heart and show some fight. I hate their entire attitude this year. Like this whole playoff run. That they just I hate it. Very true, edited, very true. But let's move it on to the Celtics. Let's move it on to the Celtics because I have the same gripe with them too. This whole thing where today's athletes play when they want to and rest when they want to, that shit drives me up a fucking wall. I hate that. I hate these rested. The biggest difference between the when they won, the biggest difference between the Paul Pierce era Celtics and now when they won their championship was those guys played every fucking night. Every single night. There was no rest days. There was none of this bullshit. They didn't take a night off. If they knew they could beat a team in 4 games and sweep them, they just went out and did it. They just went out and did it. If they knew they could beat a team in 4 games and sweep them, they just went out and did it. There's none of these rest. Today's athlete pisses me off. Tatum and Brown play when they want to, and they lax and don't play when they want. Like this whole back and forth. No, I'm just on a I'm just on a rant. Like I hate the mentality, man. I hate that. It's just you can tell when the Celtics. My point is, you can tell when the Celtics show up and try, and you can tell when they don't. When they show up and try, and they play unselfish basketball, they play as a team, and they play up to their potential. You see what you get. Very, very, very clear to see games where they try, and they're invested in the game, and they play. Very easy to see the difference. And you can tell when they're just taking the night off and they're resting. I hate that shit. Just play every night. You're making hundreds of millions of dollars. Shut the fuck up and play basketball. Play. Put effort into it. Play basketball. Play. You're both incredibly talented basketball players. Tatum and Brown are incredibly talented ball players. Tons of talent. Like the ceiling is the ceiling for both of those guys is massive. It's just about as big as their fucking egos. No, I get it. I get it. I just think a lot of it is just effort. That's all. Like just an effort thing. Like I don't know. I mean, it's obviously multiple factors too, like coaching and strategy and prep and stuff like that. I get that too. But to me, most of it is effort. Just effort, man. I'm just not a huge fan of the mentality of today's athlete. I guess you could put it like that. I'm more old school. The Celtics should win this series, though. They are clearly the better team. Donovan, like one person. The Cavs have one person. One, literally one person as a team. That's it. The Celtics. The Celtics should win this series. There's no doubt. They should win this series. They should move on, and they should definitely be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see anybody stopping them from getting to the NBA Finals either. I don't see any of these teams left standing in the Celtics' way talent wise to get them to the finals. I think we are definitely going to see as much as I tear them up. The Celtics will make the finals. There's no team left in the East that can stand up to them on a 4 game. 100% 615. 100%. 100%. But like I was saying, I don't see anybody standing in the Celtics' way of getting to the NBA Finals. Now I do think Denver is going to come out of the West. I do think Denver is going to come out of the West, and if they run into the Nuggets in the NBA Finals, they're going to have their hands full. They are going to have their hands full with that team. That is a series that will go 7, and it will come down to the final 3 minutes of that game in Game 7. No, it won't. Edited. No, it won't. No, it won't matter. But I don't realistically see anybody standing in their way. They win again last night, 109-102. Tatum and Brown work together as a team. They go for 33 and 27, respectively. Again, Derek White had an off night. You could tell they put a lot of attention on him. You could tell they put a lot of attention on Derek White. No, I agree, 615. I agree. And I think when the advantage that we could have going into the NBA Finals is that the teams in the West are going to beat each other up. Like those series are going to go 7, are going to go 6 or 7. They're going to have to fly back. The team that comes out of the West is going to have to go through a freaking gauntlet. I think the team that comes out of the West is going to be a lot more tired than we are. Plain and simple. I think they're going to be a lot more tired, a lot more beat up physically, and I think we're going to have more gas left in the tank to kind of fight in the finals. But I mean, I don't. If the Celtics don't reach the NBA Finals, it's a massive underachieve from them, because there's the teams that are left. I don't think can stand up to them. They might be able to go toe to toe for a couple of games, but the Celtics should handle business and get to the finals. They absolutely should. As much as I tear them apart, and they do have their problems, they're one of the better teams in the league. As much as I have my gripes with the Celtics, when they do play Celtic basketball and when they do play unselfish, they're pretty much unbeatable. When they play the way that they're intended to play, and they are focused and locked in, they can beat anybody in the league. They can beat anybody in the league. All right, edited. Take it easy, buddy. But my thing is just they have just got to learn how to harness that and keep that same energy every, you know, through a series. That's all that I. If they can kind of harness that up and keep that focus, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. They're one of the best talented teams in the league, proven all year long. 70 win season for them. Like they're one of the best teams in the league. And as long as they play Celtic basketball, ball movement and unselfish ball, I don't see any way the Banner 18 does not come back here to Boston. I don't see any way that it doesn't come back here to Boston for the Celtics. The Cavaliers are not going to put up much of a fight, and neither is anybody else that's left. As long as they play their game, the Celtics should reach the finals, and we should see Banner 18. We should, which is exciting because we haven't seen a championship parade in a while. We haven't seen a championship parade in a while, so hopefully the Celtics can get it done and we can get another duck boat parade. But that's all I got for you guys today. Once again, hopefully everybody has a good morning and a good day, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Hopefully the Seas and Bruins can take care of business and move on. Once again, though, guys, thanks a lot. And the support is much appreciated. And we will catch you on the next one. 615, have a good day. Good talk, brother. And we will see you later. Everybody have themselves a good day. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. We're out of here.